What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And don't forget to subscribe, because today we are diving into a masterpiece that has been called one of the most beautiful and most important cars in history, the legendary 1957 Lamborghini Miura. This isn't just a car, it's an icon that defined an era, a symbol of Italian passion, artistry, and engineering that redefined what a sports car could be. When you think about the most expensive, most exclusive, and most desirable classic cars on Earth, the Miura sits right at the very top of the list, standing tall as a timeless jewel in the automotive world. Picture this, it's the mid-1950s. The automotive industry is exploding with innovation, and Ferruccio Lamborghini, a man who built his fortune from tractors, decides he wants to do something different, something audacious. Instead of just producing grand touring cars, Lamborghini's engineers and designers secretly worked after hours to create something the world had never seen before. The result was the Miura, a car so radical in its design and so bold in its execution that it shocked Ferrari, stunned the automotive press, and instantly captured the imagination of the world. This was not just another sports car, it was the birth of the modern supercar. The Miura was the first production car ever to feature a transversely mounted mid-engine V12, a layout that would go on to become the foundation for every supercar that followed. Imagine stepping into 1957 and seeing this low, wide, impossibly sleek machine with its sensual curves and daring proportions. It looked like it had rolled straight out of the future. Designed by Marcello Gandini at Bertone, the Miura didn't just look fast, it redefined beauty on four wheels. Its silhouette was flowing, aggressive, and elegant all at once, a design that still turns heads more than 60 years later. Now let's talk power, because this was not just about looks. Under the hood, or more accurately, behind the seats, was a 3.9-liter V12 engine producing up to 350 horsepower in its early versions, with later variants climbing even higher. In the late 1950s, this was absolutely outrageous. The Miura could hit top speeds north of 170 miles per hour, making it the fastest production car of its time. 0 to 60 came in under 7 seconds, numbers that even today feel quick, but back then they were otherworldly. This car was a rocket, but one dressed in a hand-sculpted Italian suit. When you slid behind the wheel of a Miura, you weren't just driving, you were experiencing something emotional. The cockpit was intimate, low, slung, with dials and switches laid out like an aircraft. The seats hugged you, the gated shifter gleamed, and every touch of the throttle unleashed a symphony from that naturally aspirated V12. It wasn't just noise, it was music. A mechanical opera that echoed through the valleys and along the highways of Italy. Owning a Miura wasn't about getting from point A to point B. It was about making the journey unforgettable, about being part of something bigger than yourself, about touching perfection. The exclusivity of the Miura is another reason why it commands such astronomical prices today. Fewer than 800 units were ever produced, each one painstakingly hand-built, each one slightly different from the next. Lamborghini wasn't about mass production back then, they were about craftsmanship, artistry, and detail. Every curve of the body was hammered out by hand, every stitch in the interior was done with precision. To own a Miura was to own a piece of rolling sculpture, a car that blurred the line between machine and art. And of course, the Miura became an instant celebrity. It wasn't just collectors and car enthusiasts who wanted one. Rock stars, actors, and royalty all lined up to add this jewel to their garages. Frank Sinatra famously bought one, declaring that if you wanted to be someone, you needed a Miura. It became the ultimate status symbol, the car that screamed success, taste, and power. Even today, when a Miura rolls onto the auction block, it commands figures in the millions, often surpassing $5, $6, or even $7 million depending on its condition and rarity. It's one of the most expensive Lamborghinis ever sold, and every year its value only climbs higher. But beyond the price tag and beyond the fame, the Miura is remembered for changing the DNA of Lamborghini itself. It established the brand as more than just a competitor to Ferrari. It made Lamborghini a pioneer, an innovator, and a dream maker. The Miura paved the way for legends like the Countach, the Diablo, the Murcielago, and today's Aventador. Without the Miura, Lamborghini wouldn't be the Lamborghini we know now. Driving one today is like stepping back in time. but also like stepping into a piece of history that will never fade. The steering is alive, the chassis is raw, and the sensation of being pushed forward by that V12 is unmatched. There are no electronic aids, no computers, no driver modes. It's you, the car, and the road. That purity, that connection is why enthusiasts and collectors are willing to pay insane amounts to keep the Miura alive. The 1957 Lamborghini Miura is not just expensive, it's priceless in what it represents. It represents daring vision, boundary-pushing design, and the spirit of always reaching higher. It's one of those rare machines that will never be forgotten because it didn't just belong to its time. It transcended it. Every glance at a Miura reminds us why we fell in love with cars in the first place: the romance, the passion, the thrill. So if you ever get the chance to see one in person, take a moment to stand in awe. And if you're lucky enough to hear that V12 fire up, you'll understand why this car is worshipped. The Miura is proof that some creations are timeless, that some machines can be more than metal and rubber. They can be living, breathing works of art. That's it for today's video, everyone. The legendary 1957 Lamborghini Miura, the car that birthed the supercar, the car that became the definition of expensive, exclusive, and iconic. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the greatest cars ever built, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment with your favorite Lamborghini of all time, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more incredible automotive stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.